Yay, we're back. Hi, everybody. I just hope you're all okay. And as you can probably see, I feel much better because I kept at it. And so I'm actually rather proud of myself. I was very confused. Everything was all over the place. As I've said in my previous video, it was just hard work. A lot of it was hard work. And I had to actually re-watch myself the way things have been, so as to sort of present a bit of a cohesive, you know, I think I don't know. That's just what I do. I forget, or I don't know what it is that I'm doing anymore, and my awareness has moved to all these different parts of life, and so I watch myself back, and then I actually am rather proud of myself for managing to string two sentences together in the situation that I was in. The situation wasn't really bad or negative or on the outside. It's just that this completion process work, it's a lot of work. And I think I should retitle my channel How to Be Your Own Therapist or something like that. And maybe then I get more subscribers, wouldn't that be cool? Because yeah, that's actually what it is that I'm doing. So I'm putting this up now because actually, yeah, so the process that I was in involved quite a lot of, self-acceptance and acceptance of a sense of abandonment and pain that has been inside me for all these years and that never had any voice or that never had any expression. And it was never acknowledged by anybody else outside myself. So when you're 50 or over, years of age, that's quite a hole. And I think, it's my opinion, okay? I just think when we're depressed, when we suffer inwardly and maybe also physically, it is because there is parts of us deep below, okay? Below the conscious surface, that it is possible to access those parts. It is possible to make contact with the aliens that live inside of us. They're not that alien. They're just older versions of ourselves. And if we do that, it just takes quite a bit of courage. It takes time and courage. And I suppose there are mechanisms natural mechanisms, where if I had been confronted with the emotional overload or overwhelm that I am confronted with nowadays, more or less on a regular basis, if I'd been faced with that like 15 years ago, I would have shut down completely. I wouldn't have known what to do. Not in a couple of days. I wouldn't have managed because I wasn't aware of any of that stuff. I wasn't in contact with any of it. So the moment you would, press onto that surface, a whole lot of stuff would come out and everything would be rather unmanageable. However, with time and attention, it turns out that I can do this. I can do this. And sometimes it's hard still because it's also physical. And I woke up in the middle of the night and everything hurt. I was completely like seized up. I was warm enough. I had, proper bedclothes and all that. It wasn't that I was cold or anything, but I feel now that it was my body responding to the emotional deep diving that I'd been doing. And that I have actually accessed a layer of myself that never really came out before. And it is almost totally a physical layer. some of these cells right here they were there, or they carry the memory anyway. Whether they were really there, they have given over the memory of being alone, being, all that. And it's just all still there. And until I do something about it, which is nothing more than just acknowledging the fact, going into it, be patient with myself. And I'm afraid, against medication of any type. This will go down badly, I'm sure. But I am so on your side. I am not on the side of the pills. Not because the pills can't, they can provide relief. Oh yes, I understand that very well. And it's not a sin. It's not a sin, and it's not a shame or any of it if you have to take them. But I would always see it as a stage, in intermediate. I take aspirin, when everything hurts, I will go take aspirin and bugger. Excuse my French, bugger. Because I'm not going to lie there and suffer for the rest of my life. And so, yeah, I can get that. However, I would always see it as an intermediary stage, because I have, some pain relief. So then I can look at what's happening. Why am I in pain? What's going on? And can I do anything about the underlying situation? And so that's where antidepressant type medication, I am really wary of that. Really, distrustful, I should say, because they mess with how you feel. How are you gonna know what your pattern is, what your path is really? I can't help it. That's the way I look at this. As temporary relief in mild form, absolutely. I mean, how could it's not my job to be for or against anything anyway, not with what people have been given. But well, in the old days, I'm reminded of that, of course, and it's one reason why I'm rather a passionate advocate against any type of medication, is because my mother was forced to take antidepressants, and it messed with her badly. And we have no way really of knowing anymore what it really did to her. But she wasn't treated as a sovereign human being in those cases. She was just given a cup of something or other, and it completely wiped out her immune system. So for somebody who'd already been in a concentration camp as a kid for 4 years, sometimes I go back to these, just as short. I have said 3 sentences, and that was her life, my mother's life, really. I mean, if I just start thinking about this, I will just go, it's incredible, okay? So, because I've been through this, I was a kid, and I haven't seen this happen face to face, or I wasn't really there when this happened, but I've seen the consequences for 20 years after that, how hard it was for her to live, okay? And if she hadn't been in that situation, if she'd just been able to find her path in a normal way, with maybe, I don't know, a bit of valerian, the herb, which makes you kind of, chilled out and relaxed, or for cripe's sake, one of those weed things that you smoke. That would have been the day. My mom. No. Never mind. Let's just not go there, because it becomes completely psychedelic now in my mind. She could have been helped. There would have been ways for people, but she didn't accept help, so that was one part of the problem. There is another issue with not just with medication, but with any type of instrument outside of ourselves that we rely on to do something for us, to do part of the work for us. The problem is that we so easily become dependent on the tool, right? And we got to have the tool. If it's not like I don't suppose you can say we're addicted or anything, but so many things in life are just, we depend on things. And to me personally, that's always been rather a big deal. So I always feel like if I can find a way to wriggle out of this myself, just on my own strength and my own wits, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want in the end. I want to overcome all this, the whole shit circus, and not only my own, but for generations of people before me, on behalf of them at least. And I wanted to do it with these feet and these hands and these brains, okay? And this heart, if possible. And I it turns out all you really need is time and courage. So, part 1 for today. I think I might just, wrap this up and put it up as a bit of a check-in, because I really want to get those meditation videos up. And I think I'll just do a bit of a description of what it is that I'm doing, because it's been on my mind, and it's, I need to do those meditation videos. If I wait for the right time, it might take forever. So the other thing that I want to do is to show you a couple more oracle cards that I've been making.